All right, you guys. So, Ticket TV, like, share, and subscribe as y'all tap on in. And we definitely got to get into this video, man. As, man, bro, they really not playing no games with this thing, with this gambling thing, as ain't nobody safe, it seems like. I know everybody was saying that it seemed like they was just targeting the basketball players and where's everybody else and this, that, and the third. Well, it don't seem like they're playing no games because they've just indicted more people, which means to tell me what I think somebody is either talking or something's going on because all of pro sports, not just basketball. And it seemed like this is a black eye on basketball. And this is the reason why Stephen A. Snitch and some of these guys are going to look crazy as hell saying what they said, that Donald Trump was targeting the NBA. It seems like this isn't even about Donald Trump targeting the NBA. It seems like this was a big ass investigation that was going on into sports in general. It seems like that the sports betting companies had gotten in contact with the feds due to a lot of crazy activity that's been going on surrounding sports and betting. And what it looks like happened was they conducted a secretive investigation into sports and betting, and the basketball ones is the ones that came out first. Now, here's the thing. Here's what makes you think that it's more personal with the basketball is that you had the FBI director come out directly himself, Cash Patel, with the basketball allegations. He didn't come out and do the press conference with these baseball players. So now Luis Ortiz and Emmanuel Class are both facing 65 years in prison. They're facing the rest of their life pretty much in prison. Now, Luis Ortiz is 26 years old. Emmanuel Class is 27 years old. Now, both of these pitchers for the Cleveland Guardians and MLB and natives of the Dominican Republic were indicted today, or I should say yesterday, excuse me, in the United States District Court. They were indicted yesterday in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of New York. Now, those charges stem from an alleged scheme where they conspired with bettors to rig individual pitches, throwing intentional balls, or pitching below a certain speed during MLB games, allowing co-conspirators to place prop bets and win at least $460,000 overall, $400,000 from Class's actions, and $60,000 allegedly from Luis Ortiz's actions. Now, the scheme reportedly began with Class in May of 2023 and involved Ortiz starting in June of 2025. Prosecutors allege that the players received bribes, $5,000 each on June the 15th, 2025, and $7,000 each on June the 27th, 2025, and launch proceeds by directing winning associates in the Dominican Republic via concealed wire transfers. Now, both of these guys face the same four federal charges, unsealed in a 23-page indictment, and if convicted on all counts, could face up to 65 years in prison each. 20 years for wire fraud conspiracy, 20 years for honest services wire fraud conspiracy, 5 years for conspiracy to influence sports contests by bribery, and another 20 years for money laundering conspiracy. Man, this is crazy. Ortiz was arrested yesterday at the Boston Logan International Airport and appeared in federal court in Boston on November the 10th, 2025, before transfer to New York for arraignment. Class is not currently in United States custody. Now, the wire fraud conspiracy, conspiring to use interstate wires, texts, calls, transfers to execute a scheme to defraud sportbooks and MLB by rigging pitches for bets. honest service wires fraud conspiracy. They've been accused of conspiring to deprive the MLB teams, fans of honest services through bribes and rigged outcomes. Man, this is going to destroy sports. Let me tell y'all something before I keep going on. This is going to destroy sports. Here's the reason why. So many fans bet on these games. Bro, do y'all know how many fans going to file lawsuits against this? As far as the NBA, MLB, and any of these other sports that come up, I told y'all, there are unnamed co-conspirators all in that paperwork that's still going to get arrested. And they big dogs that's coming. I told y'all this. Yeah, a lot of people overblow this, shoo-hoo, boo-hoo this, and I told cats. They arrested all those mob men. They finna get everybody. Trust me. Niggas is snitching. Y'all think somebody gonna do 40 to 60? The basketball players were facing 40 years. These baseball players facing 65 years. This dude 27, 26 years old. They facing 65 years. Man, you telling me them niggas gonna stand tall on that? Smash the like button as y'all come. You telling me them niggas gonna stand tall and not snitch? The news said the other day, the basketball guy, Damon Jones, shit, they ready to offer him a plea deal if he wanted. Well, he give up all information he know. And what did I tell you? They gonna roll them dudes into bigger co-conspirators. And what you're gonna see is gonna be more arrests coming. Now, y'all see what they've done. They attached all that betting to all the sports. So now y'all see everybody betting. Everybody. So what happens if you find out everybody is losing their money? Because you betting, but you thinking this shit on the up and up. Now you lose your money. Bro, this has nothing, in my opinion, this has nothing to do with Donald Trump going at the NBA now. I'm going to tell y'all what happened. I believe it's the sports books that got so upset from getting defrauded. Even though people always say, man, it's messed up. The casino's something different. I'm talking about the sports book. The sports book is where you go in there and you bet on games. They probably was so upset watching all these irregular betting because they have people who watch that. Like when you go in there and people start placing funny bets, for example, if they have you betting one way and if they have like, if it's a heavy favorite, somebody one heavy favorite, and then you get a whole bunch of people to go bet a certain way, a whole lot of money, that'll red flag it. That'll be like, hold on, where's all these people betting this one way just now for this one game? And they'll red flag and they'll pay attention to it, pay attention to performances. You know, now these guys, of course, they're denying it. The other guys in custody. One guy, his lawyer's denying this shit. This mofo facing 65 years in prison. And didn't I tell y'all? And now I'm starting to think of why certain people ain't played all season long in basketball right now. I'm starting to think, are there secret investigations? Because I'm telling y'all, this shit is going to get bigger than the Carter. Trust me. People getting snitched on, people getting rolled up on, and everybody that's involved, somehow, somebody going to roll on them, man. I'm telling y'all, here's the funny part. You don't hear the names of all the people, but that don't mean they can't roll on everybody else. And I try to tell y'all this. Everybody thought, oh, this is personal. This is something, man, this investigation been going on before Donald Trump. This is the sports book. The sports books got tired of getting cheated. Imagine if you're the sports books. You have bets on certain games, certain things, and then you have the actual athletes conspiring with bettors to cheat the system, and these bettors are getting all this free money from the sports book because you got these athletes going out here shaving games. Now, you say, why would the athletes shave games? Well, they're going to show and they're going to try to prove that the athletes would do this because some of these guys were in bad financial situations. Some of these guys owe money to the feds. Some of these guys, I mean, not owe money to the feds, they owe money, period, and to a bookie, or they got in bad money situations. Some of these guys may have just did it just to help their friends get paid. Man, bro, this shit finna get disgusting, bro. And y'all smash the like button. I try to tell y'all all that this shit was coming, man. I told y'all they coming with more arrests. And now it ain't even basketball no more. We don't told y'all that they already investigating the UFC from MMA. because there was calls to the UFC from the sports books about irregular activity and guys throwing fights. I tried to tell people this shit was coming down, man. And everybody stood up here and was acting like I'm a goddamn idiot. Oh, no, ticket, man. Because, see, nah, nigga, I told y'all this. That was just the tip of the iceberg. They got the small fish first. What they do is get the small guys and they roll them up into the big dogs. This is easy text play crime work right here. And I'm telling y'all something, man. A lot of these dudes, you think them niggas can do the time? Niggas can't do the time, bro. Niggas gonna snitch, man. Niggas gonna snitch, man. You tell me, you think a nigga doing 65? Or you think he gonna risk doing 65 years in fucking prison? And they get this nigga opportunity to snitch and walk away? Man, them niggas finna snitch on everything. Because it's, to me, it's somebody bigger that they want. It's somebody bigger that they want. I truly believe that they're going after somebody bigger. Maybe bigger athletes' names or whatever you want to call it. But I truly believe that they're going after a bigger fish. And I'm telling everybody that's listening to this video this. In my opinion, they are going after a bigger fish. And I personally think that, you know, this is going to end bad. I think this is going to end bad, man. I think that a lot of people going to get, I'm just going to say it, man. I think a lot of people going to get indicted, bro. I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, man. I think a lot of y'all players that y'all love, that y'all respected, that a lot of you guys praise and y'all call king and all this other stuff, they may end up getting caught up in this shit, man. You know, you hope not, because you don't want to see that go on. But it almost seems as if it's inevitable at this point. It almost seems as if that shit gonna happen, man. I'm looking at these goddamn charges, bro. This shit is real, bro. Let's keep going. These motherfuckers facing 65 years in federal prison. And let's keep going. You have the money, they've been accused of money laundering, conspiring to launder proceeds from the scheme through concealed transfers and bets. They've also been charged with conspiracy to influence sports betting, sports contests by bribery, conspiring to bribe athletes to fix outcomes of professional contests. Also, this is what happened with the origin of this whole situation. Now, it says MLB flagged unusual betting spikes on Classes May the 28th, 2025 pitch and Luis Ortiz's June the 27th pitch, right? So the MLB flagged this. Bro, these basketball and baseball and sports programs, they be looking at this shit closely. So it says that in Major League Baseball, they flagged unusual betting spikes. So because they're locked in. If y'all know, when y'all watch TV and watch these games, they got all these bet companies linked to these games, right? So you'll see all the bet companies doing deals with all these leagues. So what they'll do is they have people who contact the league commissioner whenever they get unusual activity going on, right? And they'll investigate that shit. So the MLB, Major League Baseball, they flagged unusual betting spikes on Emmanuel Classes May the 28th, 2025 pitch, and Luis Ortiz's June the 27th, 2025 pitch. Now, they alerted the feds in July of this year. Think about this. They alerted the feds. Major League Baseball. This had nothing to do with Donald Trump. This had nothing to do with, that's why they was calling Stephen A. Smith a freaking idiot. Because this had nothing to do with Donald Trump. This is a bigger investigation. MLB reported this to the feds. Just like Dana White came out and said he reported it to the feds when he got a tip on something that happened. Now let's keep going. It says both players were placed on paid administrative leave Ortiz on July the 3rd, and Class on July the 28th, later moving to the restricted list post-playoffs. Now, Ortiz's attorney, Chris Jorgalis, claims all Dominican transfers were for lawful activities, family support, and denies evidence of intent, calling the case weak and circumstantial. Now, his attorney, Class's attorney, Michael J. Ferrara, states that Class has devoted his life to baseball and he's innocent. Now, the broader impact, this is a part of the United States Department of Justice crackdown on sports gambling following cases like the NCAA's stripping of basketball players' eligibilities. MLB's investigation continues with potential lifetime bans under league rules. Bro, this is disgusting. I'm telling y'all right now, bro, it's gonna get bigger, bro. It's gonna get bigger, bro. They going all the way across the table, man. It's going all the way across the table, y'all. And I'm just gonna tell y'all something. In the next couple of weeks to the next couple of months, it's gonna be bigger names that come out and get arrested, man, and get indicted. And, yeah, if y'all think that dude's not gonna go in here snitching in all these places, because they're going to try and get all of them. Because let me tell you something. This is the sports bettors that went to the feds. When you dealing with that type of money, man, this shit ain't nah, man. This is the sports bettors, sports books. Because the sports books have gotten in bed with these leagues. And they did it. They were smart to do it. So let me give y'all the game. The sports books got in bed with the leagues, right? So y'all see all these bet sports on y'all screen, right? But what the sports bettors did was when they got in bed with the league, they got a close relationship with the league now. So if anything that's going wrong, right? Let me say this to y'all again. Anything that's going wrong, I'm gonna say it one more time. The sports bettors, sports books, they're gonna contact the league commissioners and let them know, hey man, this ain't right. So then what the league do is they privately open investigations. Now I want y'all to know something. The feds, they met with the NBA last week. They told the NBA, we want all the people that you're investigating quietly, that you don't know. We need all that information. We haven't heard anything in the aftermath of that meeting with the NBA and the feds. We don't know what the NBA gave the feds. Let me say this again. We don't know what the NBA gave the feds. They could have gave the feds investigations that they're doing or that they did in certain people, and the feds picked that up. And in a couple of months, the feds come down with charges. They may have been investigating these same people and may not have had some of the things the NBA had. But now you got these leagues. Because remember, think about what I just said to y'all. I peeped this. Baseball, UFC, they claimed they called the feds. That's what the reports are claiming. They called the feds after the sports books called them about potential illegal activity. So they were called by the sports books. Hey man, we got something going on. We seen some spikes and some unusual activity. They told us to the leagues. The league said, okay, we're going to investigate them. But the UFC and Major League Baseball, they said that once they got the calls, they immediately called the feds. Guess who didn't call the feds? The National Basketball Association, the NBA. And you know why I know? Because Adam Silver said he had no idea that those guys were being investigated by the feds. And that's the reason why I believe they came out directly at the NBA, because the other leagues had been cooperating secretly with the feds in these investigations. The NBA have not. Think about what I just said. The devil's all in the details. So when everybody says, why are they going right at the NBA and all the NBA players? Because read the paperwork. This is why it's always important to read the paperwork. The paperwork says that when Major League Baseball was notified about alleged illegal activity and cheating, they went right to the feds. They did their own investigation, and they also told the feds. The same thing Dana White just said. He said that he contacted the feds as soon as the sports book contact. Now, I thought that Dana White was lying at first from the UFC. But now with this baseball report coming out, I'm like, damn. And that really lets me know Adam Silver got to go. He got to go. Something ain't going on. What the hell is going on over there with the NBA? Adam Silver, in my opinion, is in major trouble because the NBA is linked with these bet companies as well. Why wouldn't you contact the feds if you got a report on and you are investigating certain players for illegal gambling? That's illegal unless you covering it up, allegedly. Why wouldn't you contact the feds? Now it makes sense why the feds came out and did that announcement against the NBA. Because they probably like, oh, the NBA don't want to contact us and tell us that they're investigating guys for alleged. Okay, boom, you come to Congress and give us all the names. Notice they didn't do that for baseball. Notice they didn't do that for UFC. They did that for the NBA. Because the NBA didn't go tell them. Because remember, and how do we know the NBA didn't tell them shit? Because Adam Silver came out and said he had no idea them federal arrests was coming and they were being investigated by the feds. Now, why, and the question is, should be, why in the blue hell didn't you take your duck, goose looking ass over there and tell the feds as soon as the bet companies told you? Because the bet companies, they told the NBA what was going on. The NBA was investigating those guys. But here's the thing. We don't know who else the NBA was investigating. They kept that all a secret. But guess what? The feds know now. So everybody probably shitting bricks behind the scenes. Everybody probably shitting bricks like, damn. Because imagine if you had a good relationship with Adam Silver. And imagine if Adam Silver didn't call the feds because, you my guy, I'm not finna call the feds on you. But now imagine that this whole shit blew up. Other professional leagues call the feds, which is why you don't see Cash Patel and them coming out here bashing the MLB, bashing the UFC, because Dana White and the commissioner from the Major League Baseball, they went and told the feds as soon as they found out what was going on from the betting companies. So in essence, those sports groups are working with the feds. The fact that Adam Silver was not previously working with the federal government and informing them on different things that was of serious nature like this, it just lets you know, whoo, man, bro. And now this makes you think about a lot of things going on in the NBA. And not just the NBA, all the way across the board. Listen to what I'm saying in this video, y'all, because you got to read the paperwork and understand. I read that indictment for Luis Ortiz in the manual class. I read the reports on the UFC, right? The only reason why the feds are investigating the UFC is because Dana White went and told them. The reason why they're investigating the MLB, it says it right here, the MLB went and told them. Why didn't Adam Silver, the commissioner for the National Basketball Association, go and tell the feds, hey man, look, we got some, the gambling companies, they contacted us and they told us, man, hey man, there's some illegal activity going on with some of these guys in y'all's league. We're going to come give y'all the names and pass this information on to the feds because this is illegal activity and we don't want to be a part of it. Why didn't the NBA go to the feds? Because remember, they just had a meeting last week with the commissioner and them. The commissioner didn't show, they sent people over there with the information. What information did they give? How many names were the NBA secretly investigating that the people never knew about? How many? Remember, they didn't even tell the Miami Heat what was going on with Terry Rozier. The Miami Heat are blindsided about what was going on with Terry Rozier. And the NBA had been investigating him for that. They let Terry Rozier go back and play. And he was being investigated. Now he's arrested by the feds. And that could affect the Miami Heat team in a serious way. Why didn't they tell the public? Yo, we were investigating him for this. Think about that. Adam Silver has to go for the National Basketball Association, the commissioner. He has to go. He has to go. So I'm telling y'all right now, anybody with any common sense, that's why they went so hard at Stephen A. Snitch and said, bro, you sound fucking ridiculous, you idiot. When Stephen A. came out saying Donald Trump, and notice one thing, Stephen A. ain't talked about this right here. I haven't heard Stephen A. talk about this with Major League Baseball at all. I haven't even heard Stephen A. talk about the situation with UFC. You know why? Because he got boo-boo all over his face for talking that stupid shit about, oh man, because see, this is Donald Trump coming back at the NBA. Are you serious? When they've been investigating other sports as well? So this doesn't even fit your narrative. But Stephen A. Smith ain't going to come out and say that because he's going to have egg all over his face or something else. He ain't going to say that. How is he going to explain all these other sports players from different leagues now being indicted, facing more years than them NBA basketball players? The NBA basketball players, the ones that we saw, are facing 40 years. The baseball players facing 65. The two that we found so far. And you know it's more coming. You know it's more coming. The more they get them people in them rooms, you got the feds up against you, you facing 65, motherfuckers gonna snitch, man. They gonna snitch, bro. I just don't see people not snitching, bro. A lot of these mofos, man, they gonna tell, man. They gonna fold, man. They gonna fold like a cheap tent, man. I'm telling y'all this. I put this on everything I love, man. They gonna fold. So, y'all definitely let me know what y'all think. It's funny to me how Stephen A. Smith ain't talking about this shit. That is crazy. Stephen A. Smith was doing all that mouth running and talking about, yeah, man, this is Donald Trump talking NBA. No, it's not. Because now they've proven that those other leagues, they had already been investigating them before this whole shit. And the other leagues, they actually called the feds and told the feds, Stephen A. Snitch. They called the feds and told the feds what was going on. The NBA didn't. The Adam Silver was blindsided when they went over there and arrested them NBA players. And he looked dumb as hell. He didn't have no answers. But he knew that these players were being investigated by the sports companies because the sports companies told him. He just didn't say nothing. Game, set, match. Like, share, subscribe, everybody. It's all getting exposed in front of the world. And I hope they remove Adam Silver. I don't like him anyways. He's a weak weasel, in my opinion. And I don't like him anyways. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Hey, I really appreciate you guys for supporting the channel, supporting the network. Like, share, and subscribe once again. There are links. Get the free membership on our website. That way you guys won't miss any of our news update stories or videos. They're all on the website, ticketvmedia.com. You go over there. You can go right to the members part and become a free member. That way you guys will get all the updates. Also, straight drop weight loss formula. Make sure y'all go tap in and copy some of that, as well as subscribing to our podcast show. Link will be pinned at the top of the chat down there below. And also, we just appreciate all y'all who support the channel. Cash App, PayPal.